Hi, we want to talk about Russia at this moment. What's going on with Russia and the protests? What's behind the protests of protesters? There are some events that the people or the protesters demand, and the elites in Russia they don't want to give this privilege to them. The elections on the 8th of September is coming quickly, and before that, the protesters and their demands are increasing time by time. There were two unprecedented protests that took place in Moscow. One of them was on 20th of July, the other was in a week later, 27th of July. This has not been granted by the Grand Prosecutor of Russia, Yuri Chaika. This is the Prosecutor General of Russia and also a great friend of President Putin. And he said here they are going to use the entire range of responses, measures if necessary. Even the city mayor, Sergei Sobyanin, also said that the order will be secured and it cannot be otherwise. So we only interpret that they don't want this to go more away, but the protesters' demands are all still in place and they want the independent candidates to run for the election. So what's going on with Russia? This week we are going to talk about that. Now, as I already said, the protesters demand that the independent candidates should be running in the elections freely and the people's choices should be respected, which I agree, there is nothing wrong with this. But the Russian elites, they don't want this. The Russian Prosecutor General Yuri Chaika warned that the government would or has the ability to use the entire range of responses measures if it is deemed to stop the demonstrations. Or the city mayor also, Sergei Sobyanin, also said that the order will be secured and it cannot be otherwise, meaning that they will do everything to stop these unprecedented protests. The protests took place because the independent candidates are not let to run. And this is a great problem for Russia. Svetov has been already also now put in jail for 30 days, and he has been sent to another candidate or leader who has took place in the preparation of the protest on the 20th of July, Alexei Navalny. And he was also sent to now prison. So, but it raised one important issue about the security of these guys. Navalny was also briefly hospitalized last week due to the allergic reaction. But the rumors that are on the media that he was poisoned in the prison, and this is a very bad sign for Russia and the Russian democracy. So why it's important? Because of the scale of the protests, it's important. It was the first one is 20,000. The second, the protest it took around 10 to 15,000, and the numbers are not less. It's a great numbers, and they all took place in Moscow. So imagine a square with the 10,000s of people, with the flags and all these writings and the papers and saying and asking for more democracy, or Russia should grant the candidates to run for the elections. So what we are now going to watch for, at first we are going to watch for if these unprecedented protests will continue or not. In our mind it's going to continue, but if it is continue, will the protesters numbers will be growing or not? If it's grow to 30,000, then 40, then 50, yes, Russia has a great problem in their hands. If not, okay, this is a manageable, because usually the Russian elites, what they are doing while they are arresting the protesters, which last week 1,500 people were arrested according to reports. They also give some kind of incentives to the protesters or to the people, like some benefits in the social aid or pension and these kind of things. So they try to minimize the effect of protests. So the number of people also to attend these protests will be minimized. reduced. But this is not doable or for a long time, and that's for sure. So in our projection, in the longer time, there will be some great problems with the Russian democracy and these kind of things. And the Russian elites should find a way to accommodate all these unprecedented or with the leaders or the candidates who have not been granted to run for the future. They should be given a room to present people with their own ideas. Otherwise, we think that in the longer run, because last year during the presidential elections also there were some problems, and before that also there was and these problems that we see for the last 10 years are growing and growing and growing. So one day it will be in a position that the Russian elites will have a great problem. That's for sure. It has a great connection or effect on Turkish or the Turkish policy, because we have a close ties at the moment with Russia, and we need the Russian support in order to continue with our own intention, in order to achieve the technology transfers. And therefore, the Russian stability is really important to Turkey and the Turkish economy. In that regard, it is important. So we are going to closely monitor how these protests will evolve up until 8th of September. But still, we expect that, we project that the United Russia Party is going to win with a great margins. So if you like this video, there's a press like button underneath the screen. Please press on it, and if you are going to be the member of our channel, we will appreciate that a lot. So once a video will be published, you are going to hear and watch for the first time. Thank you for watching us, and have a great day. Bye.